Talofa, welcome back to our channel.
Malo.
Here is our video from Palolo Deep Marine Reserve.
Yeah, it's a great spot. We always go to Palolo when we're in Samoa.
It's a great picnic area, day spot. It's a marine reserve, so there's some great snorkeling there.
It's so close to town. If you're ever in Samoa on a cruise ship, it's like literally 2 minutes away from where you dock.
And it costs around 5 tala for adults to get in, and I think they charge us around 3 tala for Poppy.
Yeah, always very reasonable. Nice family operation there.
They've got lovely picnic tables and swings, and it's a great shaded area there you could spend the whole day there.
Yeah, and showers and toilets. They also do hire some snorkel gear. It's only 5 odd tala or something if you need some snorkel gear.
But it's definitely worth a snorkel out. I'd probably recommend that. It's not for first-time snorkelers.
No, there is some coral in closer, but to actually get to the deep, to the drop-off, it's quite a swim out. And you'll see on this day, the footage is a little rough, and it's because the tide was still coming in. It's recommended to go on high tide because it can be quite shallow.
Yeah, you'll see places where we're quite close to the coral, and that was at high tide, so we're coming to high tide.
Yeah, and you'll see that quite often I'm struggling, or we're both struggling to get out to the deep. The tide was really quite strong on this day.
But it's definitely worth it if you can get out to the actual deep. I definitely talk to the family when you get there, because there is like a little island oasis sort of thing that's really tempting to swim out to because it looks really cool. But the deep, so the drop off here, which is just amazing, it's just these walls of coral, is actually in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it is. It's straight out from where you launch, not towards the island. They have put a buoy up, which you'll see us hang on to in a bit. There's a string or a rope that we're hanging on to, so if you head towards that, it wasn't there previously, but it is really good now. They're able to point to that and say go that way.
The diversity of coral is so cool, and the fish. It was a bit bland this day. I think it ended up raining on us, didn't it?
It did. Unfortunately, I didn't get drone footage. I think we might have talked over you talking about him, but that's okay. No, we'll keep going and we'll sort that out. I couldn't get drone footage because it was really, really windy and it started to rain. Being so close to Don Bosco, it's only literally 5 minutes down the road. We'll come back to Palolo Deep quite often, and I'll surely get some drone footage.
Yeah, we'll try and get some close-ups of some fish too. I took a few stills as well while we were snorkeling, so some of them worked out okay. But yeah, we're still working out the GoPro attachment to the mask.
Yeah, well, it attaches to the snorkel, so it's not as close to the coral as you would like it. But the film doesn't do it justice. There are thousands of fish.
I got bitten by this guy, so then I chased him with the camera.
You will pick him up.
They're just so tempting. Look at how red he was.
Yeah, he was quite large, wasn't he?
He was. He was probably, about 15 centimetres? Yeah, look at that. See, look at the blue and the colours there.
Actually, something that I said to Paula during our swim was the coral had grown so much. So last time we swam here was 2019.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so the coral had grown so much. It had really changed since the last time we were here. There were a lot more plate corals. Last time it was the spiky coral and quite a lot of brain coral.
Yeah, whereas I actually couldn't find some of the things that we used as markers last time. We had some brain coral and stuff that we would meet at, and I couldn't actually find them.
Paula and I are always careful not to disturb the coral. We never stand on the coral. The only time you touch the coral is, if you're in danger or, you're getting pulled by a rip or something, but we'll never touch the coral. We're able to starfish, over the top of the coral.
Yeah. And look at it. It's just so fragile and beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have been to places, Vanuatu in particular, where we saw tourists just stomping all over the coral, and it's quite upsetting. And I mean, this is a marine reserve, and it doesn't matter whether we're at a marine reserve or anywhere around Samoa. We don't stand on coral if we can help it.
There is the beach is actually like dead coral, so it's a little bit spiky and stuff as well, but that's like natural breakup from the storms and seas and tides and that sort of stuff. So if you're going, I would suggest, possibly having some reef shoes, because it can be a little bit spiky, or we actually wear socks underneath our flippers.
Yeah, the water socks. We put those little water sockets type things on, and they're really good under your flippers as well, because they stop any kind of rubbing. Because, on this day we swam for 2 hours. I think we snorkeled for about 2 hours. So, 2 hours of flippering around, especially against the tide, you can get a bit of chafing on your feet, can't you?
Definitely. So this is in closer to the shore, and as you can see, there's some cool fish in there too. So you don't have to go out to the reef, and it's a swim. It's quite a hard swim, and if it's low tide, you're probably not going to get out there because it's quite shallow.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, when you're in Apia, unless you've got a pool at your hotel or something like that, there's not a lot of options to get into the ocean as such. I mean, this is your best option to get into the ocean, really, this close to Apia.
Oh, yeah, it probably is. It'd be the best.
Yeah, well, you can't. You think about it. There's nowhere really, unless you've got family, or you're at the resort around the corner from here. You can't really get into the ocean unless you go further around Upolu.
But if we're wrong and there is a great spot to snorkel, send us a message, because I'd love to check it all out.
Yeah, certainly. Any Samoan viewers we've got, we'd love to come and visit you guys. We'd love to, promote your area. We'd love to just come and say g'day and have a beer, have a taula or a valima.
Valima?
Is it Valalima or Valima?
I don't know. You'll get corrected either way.
I'm not sure, but both of them taste well. Actually, I prefer the taula.
Like taula?
Yeah, I think I'm saying that correctly, but I do like the taula, not the strong. I think we've talked about that once before.
The bull.
The bull, that's right.
You can see there with the seagrass and stuff, it's flattened down. We were pushing against the tide.
Yeah, here's the rope we were grabbing onto. Paula wouldn't get out of the way. I needed to help hang on to that and have a bit of a rest. Paula's pointing at a long ton. That's what I call it anyway, but a long tongue skinny fish, kind of like a giant garfish. And I get a little shot of him in a minute when she gets out of the way, and I can grab hold of the rope and have a rest.
I needed a rest too. Come on. That's hard work getting out there. Yeah, the fish got too tempting and I had to go chase them. Yeah,
and I point at him in a minute, I think. There was a couple of them. I think they were kind of mimicking the rope, actually. They were always hanging around this area.
Yeah, the few times we went back to the rope, they were always there. Must be their territory.
Where is he? Did I miss him?
Oh, there he is.
There he is. There he goes.
That piece of string down the bottom of the.
So that rope was connected to the white, like a bucket or a buoy or a bottle on top of it. So you'll see that from the shoreline. Yeah,
and that sort of depicts it's probably about, 20, 30 metres away from the actual deep drop-off.
Yeah, you've still got, that's when the coral really starts to take hold. And then, as Paula says, it's about another probably 30 metres till you get to the drop-off. And holy dooly, it's a good drop-off, isn't it?
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. I don't love deep water. Paula doesn't mind it.
Well, I reckon that you're only using the top of it anyway.
I tell you what, I'm looking around for the old Noah's Ark sharks when I'm in the deep water.
We couldn't get much footage of the deep water because it's just so deep it goes just blurry and it wouldn't be real interesting for you to see, but we'll see what we can do about trying to get maybe some stills of that next time we go out.
I've seen some footage of Palolo from a drone. Recently actually someone was over the island and it just looked fantastic. So I can't wait to get some drone footage. It'll be great.
So you can head out to Palolo. I think it's open every day. Mind you, I think we went one day when it was shut, but it's usually open every day from around 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. So, you know, you can spend the whole day there. They've got a little food hut, or they're okay for you to take in a picnic.
Yeah, they've got a gate on their fence, like at the entrance. So if they're closed, the gate will be closed. So you'll know straight away.
The diversity in the fish, there was just like you can see there were so many fish that just looks like leaves like blowing in the wind, but it's just where the light catches them as they swim back and forth.
Yeah, they were just the camera doesn't do it justice. It was just an abundance of blue fish all over the place, all these like leaf type fishes, and you know there was parrotfish and there were those they call butterfly fish or some of the ones you chased.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
we did see some seahorses.
Oh yeah,
we did see some seahorses and tried to get some footage of it, but it wasn't great. We couldn't actually see it.
And there was heaps of the blackfish, and I forget what they're called, but they're like really territorial, and you know, as you swim over them, they'll even like poke their noses out at you to try and like scare you off. You'll see a heap of them in a minute, I think. You see them as we're swimming back into shore.
So just before we end the video, we found out that the Palolo is derived from the reef worm. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the Palolo Deep is named after the worm. So in Samoa, there's these worms that come up 2 times a year, and they leave like a tail, and it's a delicacy, and it's like the egg and the sperm, but you know, it's a real delicacy, and they call it the caviar of the Pacific. So that comes out in, I think, late November and late October, those 2 times a year. There's those blackfish. Yeah. So definitely when we get to that time in the year, we'll do some videos around that, and maybe James can do a taste test for us.
Yeah, certainly. I'll have a go. It's really popular, and I think it's very, very culturally connected for Samoans. I did read something in the Samoan Observer about, you know, it's a very long tradition, and they're finding that a lot of people are buying now, and it's not necessarily being passed down. So I'd like to learn about it for sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they go out with like lanterns at you know, in the night time to try and catch them.
It could even be like a full moon or something.
I think it is. I think it's the full moon at the end of October and the end of November.
We'll stay posted for that. You've got a few months to wait, but we'll definitely suss that out, and you Samoan guys will know all about it. So we're happy to hear your comments and let us know.
As you can see, James is swimming quite fast now because he's going with the tide.
Oh yeah, flying in with the tide. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hope you enjoyed.
Like and subscribe. Hope you have a great day. Bye.